Kia ora. Welcome to Business Your Way, a podcast where I take you behind the scenes and look at the strategies, systems and support needed to grow and scale an online service business. Because you deserve a business that doesn't feel like work, one that gives you energy and the resources to do what matters most to you. Whether it's figuring out where to spend your time, how to maximize your profitability, or streamlining your processes so things get done quickly and efficiently, my guests and I, we've got you covered. I'm your host, Sandra Julian, Indigenous mama of three, fashion-loving sewist and business strategist. Each week, I want to help you dream big, plan well, and do the work to grow and scale your business your way. Well, hey friend, welcome to episode 11 of Business Your Way. Today I'm talking with Teresa from Sherbet Creations, and I wanted to bring Teresa onto the podcast because she has a rather unique business model. She is a service-based business in that she is working one-on-one with her clients and providing a service to her clients, but the way that she serves her clients is with a physical product. So she helps her clients come up with a custom gift that they can send to their clients. So she's producing the gift, packaging it all up, sourcing everything that goes into the gift. So it might be a gift box with a number of things in it, or it might be a gift box with just one thing in it. It all depends on what her clients are after and how that gift that they're giving represents their business or helps their clients with what they're doing. So I wanted to give you just a look at a different business model and how this is working for Teresa. She also has a very, very new product that she's going to share with us, but I will leave her to talk all about that.
Teresa, welcome to the Business Your Way podcast. I am really looking forward to our conversation today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Kick us off. I'd love if you could introduce yourself, what you do, who you serve, and how you make your moolah.
Sure. So as you know, I'm Teresa. I am the boss lady behind Sherbet Creations, which is a custom gifting business. So I work one-on-one with other business owners to create a custom gifting experience for their customers. And I do that via a bespoke custom way where I look at what their event may entail or what their strategy might be and how we can use gifts to make the customer journey more exciting.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. I like what you do because it's like adding the cherry on the top of the cake to that customer journey with a little surprise and delight. So tell me a bit about how you work with your clients. Let's start there.
Sure. So primarily I work one-on-one with businesses. So I set up a discovery call and we get to know each other, and then I can kind of get my creative juices flowing, usually straight away on the call. Sometimes prior if I do a little Instagram stalk or something. And I just see if the vibe and the themes are matching, and I can just suggest how to implement the gifts and sort of what direction to take it in. So it's a very custom process. So it's very just like relaxed and just chilled and like talking to your best friend, trying to organize your shopping together.
So it's like a personal shopper.
That's right.
And so are you thinking about what you've got in stock or what you've got on your shelves, or are you thinking around your network of suppliers? And is it something off the shelf or is it actually something that's custom made?
So usually with my custom gifting, it's nothing that I'll have in stock ready to go. It will always be either a custom product made by someone that's in my network. I call them like my little black book of suppliers. So I've worked with them, different projects, different products. So I like to really make the products themselves as custom as I can because it's like so unique and it's so much more fun that way for me and for everyone involved. But sometimes I might suggest like complementary products to be put in the gifts as well that may be ready-made from one of my suppliers, but it just suits so well that I feel like it has to go in.
And so when someone is coming to you, is it per gift, or can I come to you and say, look, for every new client that I bring on board, I would like to send the same gift because it's custom branded to me? Or can I get a gift that is for that particular client every time? So if I'm like, I'm working with this client and I know this about her and this is what she likes, how do we put a gift together to meet her needs? Like, how would that go if I was your customer?
Yeah, sure. So primarily I would do sort of like a bulk sort of order, whereas you might forecast how many clients you might be getting over the quarter, or sometimes people do it over the year, and we tailor a gift that suits you and your brand. So it's more of a unboxing your sort of personality. And then when we get custom products made, they're usually like a minimum order that we need to meet. So we try and do that. And I purposely create and design the gifts where it can be unique but also versatile at the same time, because you might not know who the recipient's going to be at that point. So we try and make it a balance between both. And a lot of my clients in the past might have different services or different areas of their business. So we work on different tiers. So I might design a gift for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and they're all pre-done and ready to go wrapped. And then they'll just let me know, I've got a new client, let's send her a tier 2 gift, and it'll be ready to go and on their way. In regards to like a single gift, I've noticed that a lot of my clients have requested stuff like that as well. So I've actually got a new service that I'm bringing out, which is called Design Your Own Gift Box, where that is items that are on the shelves, virtual shelves of mine, and you can select different items that you like to create your own one-off gift.
Oh, that's fascinating. So yeah, so those are more like shelf products as opposed to custom products. But
That's
bringing them all together and putting them into a box makes the box custom.
That's right. Yes. And I've added a few little tricks along the way with the Design Your Own, where you can add some different custom packaging to try and different colors like that to try and tie it all in to match either your brand or your recipient's brand.
Oh, that's exciting. And so that's now available on your website. So if someone goes to your website, they can start putting together a custom box.
Yes, it will be. Yes. At the time of recording, it's a couple of days away. So I'm sure it's going to be all ready to go.
Great. By the time this episode drops, you'll be well into the swing of it.
Yes, that's right.
So let's backtrack a little bit. Tell me, how did you get into this business?
Well, it's a funny story, actually. So I am very much, I like to call myself an ideas woman. I always have all these different fun ideas. And I was actually in my career was a real estate agent for many, many years. That was my career. I was in it for a while. I did leave when I began to start with my family. And Sherbet Creations actually started as a kids craft subscription box. Now, I know that is so like left field. You wouldn't expect that at all. But over the last 4 and a bit years, we have evolved. So originally, I actually had a business partner who was in the early childhood space. So we were working with like the gift expertise of me and the early childhood, and we sort of brought it together. But since we parted ways, I sort of took it on my own strengths, which was gifting, because I come from a massive Italian family. My husband's got a big Italian family. So we are celebrating all year round constantly, and there's always gifts happening. So I've become some sort of professional with sorting out gifts for all the people. But what really lit me up the most was working with other women and business owners, because at times I felt like it was a little bit isolating working for yourself, by yourself, without sort of that hustle and bustle of a large office or a lot of team members and things like that. And I just really loved supporting them, because I knew by putting an order through there, like there was so much love and care taken into the products, and we were supporting each other's families and like goals that we wanted to achieve. So I really wanted to hone in and niche down on that. And that's what's really just makes me so excited.
Nice. And so, being from the real estate industry, was that where you headed for your first clients? Because I know real estate agents are big on congratulations, you've just sold your house. Here's a gift basket, or here's a gift to say thank
I
you for
did.
working with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I did reach out, and I'm very lucky that I'm quite good friends with most of my past colleagues. So they were really the ones that helped me get it off the ground to begin with, settlement gifts and thank you gifts. So that's, like you said, is very popular in the real estate industry. But I did tell them, if we do work together, we have to do something different. We can't do the same thing that every real estate agent is doing. And that's what they like. They want to stand out from the crowd. So it was a good opportunity to do it.
So gifting has always been in your blood. It's always been something that you've done even before going into business.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I would be the one that people would come to say, oh, I've got a gift. I've got to buy something. What should I get? Can you help me? Can you come shopping with me? Like, that was just that. I was that person.
And then you turned it into a business. How smart.
Yeah, because, you got to work with your strengths.
Yeah, totally. So this whole model of, because you could have just gone and created an e-commerce business and gone from the get-go and got some suppliers and done it that way. What made you take the track of being a service business with a physical product? Like, that's quite unique in the structure in itself. When you say, oh, yes, I'm a service with a physical product, people would say, oh, you're just e-commerce. But that's not where you're at. So what made you take this route, which is really unique? Like, I've not seen a lot of people do what you're doing.
Yes, so that tends to be a common theme in my life. I like to just do things a little bit differently, which I love. I think it's great. But the main thing was, I just didn't want to be the same as everyone else. I knew that there were so many other amazing businesses that offer that already. So I wanted to offer something different. And I know that each business is different and each recipient is different. So I felt like you couldn't really get a cookie cutter sort of range of gifts that would suit all those different people. And I just like to have a lot of fun and inject some personality into the gifts as well. And I feel like you can't do that with just like an e-commerce store and stocking things. You really need to deep dive into the brands and understand the themes and all the values and just all that kind of stuff. And that creates the experience.
And I love how you said experience, because I'm part of Tracy and Carl's Inner Circle Mastermind, and they are your clients. So I've been on the receiving end of their gifting for the last 2 years. And it's phenomenal. Like, we receive this massive box, and in this massive box are then either smaller bags or smaller boxes, and we get to unbox them individually as we're going through the retreat itself. So over a course of 2 days or 2.5 days, we get to unbox gifts at different points on the agenda, which has been super fun. So talk me through how you work with that client to come up with such a bespoke but massive gift. Like, that's not just one gift, that's a series of multiple little gifts that have to work in with a program to have a bigger impact on the virtual retreat.
I love working with them, and their retreat gifts are one of my favorites because there's just a lot of fun and there's a lot of, you can add so much personality to it. So the beauty of having something like that, especially for a virtual retreat, is you're missing that connection when you're there in person. So we had to sort of make a way of having that connection and that fun and that experience to be able to have that energy and that morale up. So what we would normally do is the whole event normally is planned. If there's speakers, is whatever the course of their event is planned. And then I just find the little holes or anything where I can just complement what is already planned. So, for example, if there's particular things that they're going to be working on, or an activity or some sort of mindset session, I will hone in on that kind of thing and see what I can provide that's tangible item that will complement that, and just take it from one level and just take it up a notch, because it then ignites all the rest of your senses as well. You're listening and you're viewing a presentation, but if you have something that you can touch or feel or smell or even taste, it just uses all your senses. It just takes it up a notch. So we basically look at the agenda, what's planned, where sometimes they might leave me like a little part where we want to do something there, but we don't know what. So you can just fill that sort of hole up, seeing what else is around. And I love when I work with a business owner that has a theme. So especially with Tracy and Carl in the past, they've always had a theme, which makes all the items that we put together very cohesive. There's always that connection amongst each other as well. So I feel like all those little details added together really then make the impact.
And so do you do a whole lot of other events, whether it be in person or virtual? So delegate gifting or speaker gifting or anything like that?
Yeah, I have all different kinds of occasions that I do. I do a lot of client onboarding gifts. That's something that's very popular, especially with those in like the coaching space, because they are not providing a product. I get to sort of curate and design products that will go with their digital services, which is really cool. And that has, that helps them create that connection, that physical connection with their customers, sometimes international or, across the country. But I also, as we mentioned before, I work with real estate agents for thank you gifts, and then sort of speaker gifts and other things, other parts of the event I have worked with as well. There's all different industries and different ways to implement gifting. And once you start thinking of it, then you can see all the different ways you can introduce it, but some people might not realize straight away.
So how do you find suppliers to help, put these gifts together, especially when you're trying to be bespoke around the gifting? How do you source your suppliers?
So I am pretty much always in the back of my mind looking for people and networking and meeting people, because I feel that, when the brief comes in, I don't know, I can't start looking for suppliers at that point. I need to sort of pull from my bank of people and be like, I know exactly sort of what items I can do and pull from. But then there's some of them who I've worked on a custom basis. So I might, speak to my ceramic artist and be like, I need this kind of mug with this kind of color. Can you engrave this into it and make this? We pretty much design a brand new product that's not even available. But I know that it can be done. And I have done that a couple of times actually with my ceramic artist. So I just constantly and I'm a generally social person anyway, so I'm constantly loving to meet people and knowing their story and stuff like that. So I just put them in the back burner. And when I need you, I'll call on you. I know it will come one day.
It sounds like being in the event industry, I do very much the same thing. So spending, 20 years in doing business events, it's knowing what venues are available up and down the country and what suppliers are good at what. And it's almost having this like little black book in your mind of when a client says, oh, I want to go to Queenstown and do a conference there. Was that a good idea? And then you're like, oh, that venue will do, or you can just rule it out and go, that location just can't do an event of any size that you're considering. So it's that same concept of always having a little stock on hand of contacts as opposed to stock on hand being on the shelf.
That's exactly right.
Perfect. So tell me a bit about your business. Is there just you in your business, or do you have some help? What does that look like behind the scenes?
So mainly it is just me. With the goal to change that. I do have an amazing VA who works with me on a regular basis. So she helps me with a lot of my admin tasks, my social media, things like that, my email marketing. I do have a website developer that helps me with sort of the bigger changes and the maintenance of the website. And other than that, it's just me and some family and friends that might help me pack or help look after the kids or, mum cooks dinner for me sometimes.
Love that. Love mums.
Oh, yes. And she loves it too. So any chance she gets to help, she's there. So
yeah, because I was going to say, how do you get on when you've got, it's an event, and so you've got multiple participants all getting boxes of goodies? That'd be like a chain gang of assembly. How do you get on there?
Yes, it needs to be done in advance. I like to do things with my time. But, even a small intimate retreat of 20 people, the amount of items could very easily go up to 150 to 200 items by the time you have each person have 10 or 12 items. So I definitely sort of set up kind of a production line happening. With the bigger events, it tends to take over the house a little bit, which is fine. Plus, we're upgrading our space soon anyway, so that's good. But I try and have a system. So I've come up with sort of like a spreadsheet that I just print out, and I write down each product, how it's going to be packaged, where in the box it needs to go, because that's important with weight distribution. And sometimes, like for a recent event, I had a treasure map, so I had to make sure things were placed in the kind of vicinity of where it needed to go. So I try and just work it sort of as a system as much as I can, and very much a production line.
So do you have a dedicated space in your house, or does it literally take over the house?
I do have a dedicated space. However, it has taken over where I currently am. So, which is hence why we're going to be moving, and we've got a bigger space. So it's all exciting. Yeah.
What does the future look like for Sherbet Creations?
Well, as I've mentioned, we are moving, which will, have a lot more space, which is great. So my next focus is to grow the team. Because I have 2 young boys that I generally sort of work around, but I would love to be able to be, more purposeful with my time, especially with them and, starting school and all the school events and the sports and all that. So the focus definitely for next year is expansion in team-wise and space.
And so do you currently have overseas clients, or all of your clients are Australian-based at the moment?
All of them are Australia based. However, their recipients sometimes are international. So I do send around the world, but my clients as such are all based in Australia.
Is that something you plan on keeping close, or what is there plans for expansion?
I'm trying to be like expansive across the board. So if I had an international client touch base, which I do believe I've spoken to a few people internationally, that is so fine, because, they might not find that unique model of, a service and an end product kind of together that I supply. And a lot of the times they fall in love with my past products and past collaborations that I've done with my suppliers. So it's just easier for them to come to me rather than try replicate that somewhere else.
Yeah. And all of your suppliers are Australian as well?
They're all Australian, and they're all women in business as well.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't realise that.
Yeah, I try really hard to keep it that way, because I really want to shine a light on those women. And I've even had clients in the past that were people of colour, and I've even had all the gifts and all the items done by women of colour as well, to really like shining on that their values. I really take that very, very seriously, but it's very important to me that I respect that. And if they want to shine a light somewhere, I will happily join the party and do it as well.
Love that. All right. So if people want to reach out to you, get on a call with you, talk about their own custom gifting, because what I think would be really cool is, like, I've been part of a group coaching programs in other parts of the world, and they've sent gifts, as part of that client onboarding gifting. But wouldn't that be so cool if they could find someone who is closer for their Australian, New Zealand clients to actually get something that was, more closer to home for us, rather than having to ship it out.
Yeah, close to the destination.
Yeah, close to the destination. So if people want to have a chat with you about engaging with your services to do some gifting and some custom gifting, where can they go find you?
Yeah, so the best place is to head to my website, which is sherbetcreations.com.au. I am also on Instagram primarily, which is Sherbet Creations, and that's where you'll find me.
Great. Any free gifts? Do you have a how to start gifting or anything like that that can help people out?
Yes, I'm actually working on something at the moment which should be ready to go. So it's how to inject and implement your brand into your gifts. So
That's good.
yeah,
that's
a few different ways that might not be obvious to some. I've popped them in this little goodie. So
especially, people like me who are like, when I think about gifting, I just think it goes in my too hard basket. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to, but it's too hard. So I'd rather go, can I have somebody else put their creative hat on and do that for me? That would be heavenly.
That's it.
Awesome. Okay, Teresa, lovely to talk to you today. Thanks for coming on the podcast. I was super intrigued to share with everyone your business model being a service-based business with a physical product, and you've explained it beautifully. So I hope everyone that's listening comes and connects with you and gets on board with their gifting.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Oh my gosh, was that good or was that good? I really do hope that you enjoyed this episode and it's given you some inspiration to include some custom gifting as part of your client experience. It might be part of your onboarding when you bring a new client on board and begin working with them, or it might be during your offboarding process and it's a little gift to say thanks for working with you, or it could be whatever else you choose it to be. If you choose to send Christmas presents to clients or special clients or VIP clients, then this is something to think about. A bespoke gift that really represents your business and your brand and can be customized to really reflect the person that you're giving the gift to. I thought this was a fantastic episode with Teresa, something that we could perhaps all be doing more of. This is just another example of how you can build your business your way. You can live anywhere in the world and have a thriving business. You can read about this episode, so if you'd rather read about it and take some notes from the blog, you can do that over on the website, which is sandrajulian.co/podcast 11. That's the number 11. So hop over there, you'll get the full written blog post from this episode. There you'll also find the links from today's episode, and you can go and connect with Teresa and check out her brand new Build Your Own Gift Box product. That will be super good when it's a bit of a last minute thought or you want to get something out to somebody, hey pronto. Teresa's got a wonderful array of unique products to put into those gift boxes. So it's not just, a bottle of wine and chocolates, which is probably our usual go-to if we're all really honest. Before you carry on with your day, if you really enjoyed this episode, please make sure that you hit subscribe so you get the new episodes as soon as they're released and get into all of the goodness that the guests are sharing with you at the moment. Like, I've got some wonderful guests still lined up before we hit that Christmas period. If, like me, you listen on the Apple Podcast app, then I'd really appreciate if you could rate the show and leave a quick review. Or what would be even better is if you took a screenshot of wherever you're listening to this episode and you shared it over on Instagram. You tagged both Teresa and myself. I'll reshare on my stories and I'll give you a shout out. Like, I would really love to do that. I'd like to know what you thought of the episode. Like, drop me a quick note with your share. I'm all about it. Alrighty, my friend. That's it for this week. I'll be back next week with another interview where we'll be diving behind the scenes of a growing online service-based business with my guest, Jenny Sunnison. Until then, have a fabulous week and I'll talk to you soon.